Hey everyone, there's a few problems I'm going to go over with you for this review. I don't think it's necessary to go over all of them, so let's go ahead and get started. Remember, we're just doing addition and subtraction multiplication. When it comes to these, you're really just looking at these like terms here. So this is 5 root 2 plus 5 root 2. Since they're both root 2 terms, you can just, since we're adding, you can just do 5 plus 5 is 10 root 2. Same thing here, 12, both root 3 terms, so 12 minus 7 would give you 5 root 3. This one can be a little tricky, because this is 8 square root of 3x. This is one term of square root of 3x, so 8 plus 1 would give you 9. And then the only thing you have to worry about on 4 is you reduce this, 20. 4 times 5 gives you the square root of 4, which is 2. Square root of 5 you can't do, so then you just have this. Okay, and there's your answer. For these, remember that that bottom number goes into the little crack there. Your bottom goes in the butt crack. Never forget. So you get that right there. So no matter whatever the bottom is, that's going to be it right there. That should be a little higher as an exponent. So now the crack number is the bottom. Okay, saying that just so you don't forget. So this would be really 6. There's our bottom number, 3x. And then remember here, maybe make a little note here, right there is an understood, there's an understood 2. So this is y equals 9 over 2. Okay. Let me get a little bit better picture there for that one. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. Guys, here, this is just distributive property, but you've got these radicals. Don't make it hard on yourself. So, root 3 times 2 would be 2 root 3. It's root 3 times 2. I just wrote it with the coefficient in front. Now, here's where you can get lost. Maybe make a little star on this one. Root 3 times 5 root 3. Okay, I'm going to keep this like that and write the multiplication of this one. We're distributing, write it to the side, because there's going to be some work here since these are both radicals. So I can do 2 root 3 plus 5. Now here's the key. Whenever you have a radical term times another radical term, the numbers in front will multiply. Since this case it's 1, it's 5 times 1, so that's just there. But then underneath, you would actually have 3 times 3. Okay, so you get 2 root 3 plus 5 square root of 3 times 3 is 9. So then you get 2 root 3 plus 5 square root of 9 is, keep the multiplication, times 3. Okay, so that becomes 3. So then your final answer would be 2 root 3 plus 5 times 3 is 15. That's all you got to do. So remember, the key here is that the numbers under the radical multiply together. Alright, so let's look at this one. Okay, this one's a little easier. Root 5 times 2, that's 2 root 5. Root 5 times negative root 5, that's negative root 5 times root 5. Now watch the pattern here. 2 root 5 minus, those can go underneath. Sorry about that. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 5. Square root of 25 is 5, and there's your final answer. Keep going on this one. Root x times 2. Root x times 5. That's going to be 5 square root of x. Root x times positive 2 root x, so 2, since there's nothing in front here. Square root of x times square root of x. And there it is. This is an important step here. x times x, what is that going to give us? X squared. Now, here's a big thing to know here. Maybe put a little star right there. Little things that you need to know. This stays, but then this would be the square root of x squared would be x, and then that's it. And so all of these follow the same kind of process when you're going through them. Write each polynomial in standard form, named by number of terms and state the degree. Okay, so maybe make a little note that standard form is from the highest exponent term to lowest exponent term. Okay, so what we need to do is take our highest exponent term, which is this term right here. We just write it first, 2x to the fourth, plus our next highest exponent term is cubed, so plus 5x cubed, then it goes minus 3x, and then minus 7. And that's it. For the name, this is a 4th degree term and it has a specific name. This is a quadric. There's an R there. And the degree is 4th degree. The name and degree over here is going to be the same. The highest exponent term is the 6th degree. And all the problems that you don't see me write can all be found on the website. So they're all worked out by hand. This is just so I can make sure you get those little details in here. Okay. Continuing on. Okay. So here comes a big one. Alright. Number 16. Well, let's look at number 15. This is very basic. You are adding like terms. For instance, 6a squared plus 8a squared would give you 14a squared. 19a plus negative 8 would be 11. And then 1 plus 6 is 7. So the answer here is C. Addition is basic. The thing that can get you is subtraction. You have to change to addition to make it a little easier. You don't have to, but it is recommended. Change to addition by distributing the negative. I apologize for my handwriting. I will practice that so you can read that better in the future. So what you do, I'm going to distribute this negative. Now what happens when you distribute a negative? All the sign changes. That becomes a plus. Mark that out. That's a minus. And make this one obvious. That will be a minus. Okay? Put something there to make sure you see that that is changed. Now since I distributed that, the negative's gone, and this becomes a plus now. Okay? So now it's really simple. I'm going to rewrite my problem down here. So I can line my terms up vertically. So watch what I do. So now we have plus negative 6x squared. This is the square term, so I just come down here and match them up. There's my square term. Negative 6x squared. Done there. Plus negative 3x to the fourth. So my x to the fourth term. Now when I come down here, that's not there. So I'm just going to kind of tag this off to the side. Because I know at the end I'm not going to combine it with anything, so it's just going to come down. So I'm done there. Then plus 3x cubed. Here's my x cubed term. So I get 3x squared, negative 8. So now this is addition, by the way. So we don't have to worry about our sign changes now. We can just add. Negative 8 plus negative 6 is negative 14. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1x cubed. And then just bring down your x to the fourth term. And then write it in standard form, which this would be our first term. Because it's the fourth, this would be our second because that's 3. Then, I'm sorry, that shouldn't have been square. That should have been an x. 3x. I wrote that down wrong. There we go. So then that's your last term. So really all this backwards, which turns out to be c. And there's an error right here. That should be a plus. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, so basic stuff here. Let's just look at these two. Remember distributive property. So 3b times 5b would be 15b. b times b is b squared. And then 3b times negative 2 would be negative 6b. That's all it is. Now over here, it's double distributed once here, so there I'm going to double distribute. 3r times 2r. 6r squared. 3r times negative 1. Negative 3r. There it is. Now, we go to our next term, negative 5. Negative 5 times 2r. Line it up with your r term, negative 10r. Negative 5 times negative 1, plus 5. Combined everything, 6r comes down. Negative 3 plus negative 10, negative 13r. Bring down your 5. There's your answer. And it comes out to be A. And that, oh, sorry, not A, that needs to be plus C. Apologize about that. Alright. There's only one more I really want to hit on, and that's 21. Alright, so make a little note here. When you distribute this, distributing it as a trinomial, or into a trinomial, 3p cubed times 3p squared. 3 times 3 is 9. P cubed times p squared equals p to the 5th. You are going to add these exponents. Alright? And that makes sense because p times p would be p squared. Because there's an exponent of 1 and 1, add them together, you get 2. So when you multiply these variables together, their exponents come together. So then keep going. 3p cubed times negative 2p, that's negative 6p. This is to the first, p cubed. P to the first, that's p to the fourth. Distribute one more time. 3p cubed times the negative. 3 times 5 is negative 15. P cubed comes with it. And there's your answer. And then finally, this guy right here, 26. This is just the same thing with a trinomial, just double distribute. 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times negative 10 is negative 20x squared. X times x squared. 2x times negative 6 is negative 12x. Okay, there's my first one. Same problem we just did, just now we have a second term to distribute. 5 times x is, and line it up with your x squared, plus 5x squared. 5 times negative 10 is negative 50x. And then look what happens here. 5 times negative 6, negative 30. Bring everything down, combine it. Negative 20 plus 5 is minus 15. Negative 12 minus 50 is negative 62. Bring down negative 30, and you're good. There's your answer. So all of this, just remember, distribute. I mean, look, x times x squared, this is how easy they are. X times 3, 3x. Then do the next term, right? 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 3, 15. And combine. X squared, I'm running this a little fast because I'm running out of time, plus 8x plus 15. So just pay attention to your signs, pay attention to changing those subtraction problems to addition, and really just practice. I mean, it gets easier and easier the more you practice. So look over your resources, study, and you'll be good to go.